Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, November 11th, 2016. I'm Lafern Fraser with the details. As part of Tourism Month 2016, this country today, Friday, November 11th, welcomed to its shores for the first time the Britannica cruise ship, marking the start of the 2016-2017 tourist season. Despite the gloomy weather, the ship, which hosts some 4,000 passengers, docked at the Kingston cruise ship terminal earlier this morning, allowing persons on board the opportunity to experience the Vincentian tourism product. Nikita Tony has more in this report.
Signaling the beginning of the 2016 tourist season, approximately 4,000 passengers on board the Britannica cruise line have now experienced the home of the blessed St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The 2016-2017 tourist season for SVG opened with the first call by the Britannica cruise ship, its first to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Noting that today's proceedings is an encouragement for what is to come for the rest of the season, Marketing Officer at the SVG Port Authority and person in charge of the Kingston Cruise Terminal, Nicole Hazelgun Monroe, said despite the inclement weather conditions, many of the cruise ship passengers were able to explore some of what SVG has to offer.
The passengers were able to walk through Kingston to enjoy, I'm sure, the city a bit, get some shopping done and enjoy the entertainment. This afternoon is a bit overclouded, but they seem to still be enjoying themselves. I'm hearing them laugh out there. We have lots of entertainment going on, cultural packages plus live bands and so forth. So it seems to be going quite well. Usually when it starts good, it ends good. So we hope it'll continue this way. Britannia, this specific ship, has about 9 more calls for the season. So we look forward to that, and we look forward to welcome the other ships as well.
Noting that the weather conditions proved to be challenging for tour operations, Tour Coordinator at Careers Hazels Inc., Michelle Forsyth, commended all tour guides for executing their roles and providing the visitors with quality services.
It's a great start. We would have prayed for a brighter day, a little bit more sun, but without that, we can say that we've been having a successful call so far. They are having quite a good time. The guests are coming back. They are happy. They're saying that this is the best tours that they've had ever on their cruise. Some are even saying that it's the best tour that they've ever had in their lives. So we're getting some really good feedback.
Commenting on a tourism exhibition held earlier today, Quality Development Officer at the SVG Tourism Authority, Avenel De Silva, said it was an opportune time to have such a large cruise ship docked at the Port Kingston.
The aim of the exhibition was really to give the passengers coming off on such a large ship a taste of what St. Vincent is about. So we wanted to a bit of local food, a bit of the local arts and craft, some local music, and of course, if you notice just behind me we have some local dancers going on from the Avenue Dancers. We are excited that they actually chose to come to our destination. We have to thank, of course, the ship agents for working very hard to get them to come here.
We also caught up with some of today's visitors who took the time out to share some of what they experienced with us.
You must come to St. Vincent. It's one of the better Caribbean islands. It's safe and it's nice, it's picturesque, the cab drivers are friendly, it's really good, and the money is fine, it's not expensive. You must do it and you must come.
It was lovely. It rained, but we made the most of it, and we had a really good time.
Want to say hello to all the football fans here in St. Vincent, from Sheffield United to yourselves. Follow us, excellent English team. We look forward to seeing you again. Full islands. I know we've had a little bit of rain today, but it has been really nice.
And would you encourage anyone to come to St. Vincent?
Definitely. Beautiful islands to go and see.
I absolutely love it. I've never been before, first time, and I will come back. It's beautiful. The people are beautiful, food's beautiful, and everybody's nice to you. Love it.
How was it for you?
It was great. The locals were great. We've been and had a drink with all the locals, and we'll be back.
Nikita Tony, the Evening News.
Prince Harry will mark the 7th day of his official tour of the Caribbean on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen with a visit to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where he will be met at the cruise ship berth by Governor-General Sir Frederick Ballantyne, other government officials, and a military parade at which he will formally inspect the Guard. The Prince will then tour the Kingston Botanical Gardens site and plant a commemorative baboa tree to mark his visit. The Vermont Nature Trail will be the 3rd stop on the agenda, where the Prince will traverse the trail, meet with local guides and unveil the final of the 4 dedications to the Queen's Commonwealth canopy, following Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves' recent declaration making it now illegal to catch or kill sea turtles or disturb their nests here in SVG. Prince Harry will visit one of the beaches to learn more about the country's initiatives to inspire young people through education in schools to care about and protect the endangered population of sea turtles on the state's shores. Prince Harry will also discuss the various conservation projects that the students have undertaken to protect other local endangered species. Later that evening, the visit will culminate with a reception hosted by the Governor General and Prime Minister at the cruise ship terminal. This will be Prince Harry's second official visit to the Caribbean. His first was in 2012 when His Royal Highness represented Her Majesty the Queen during the Diamond Jubilee. Member of Parliament for West Kingstown Daniel Cummings is expressing grave concern over the damaged main road at Argyle, which has been deemed temporarily impassable to vehicular traffic. Cummings, who is an engineer by profession, said on radio yesterday that the soil on which the road was built is unstable.
The material on which the road is built to begin with is not the correct type of material. It's not compacted, it's not graded. Below the road there's a huge excavation, so you have the potential for natural movement. There's no embankment, there's nothing, no reinforcement. But worse than that, you have a huge water source on the other side, just saturating it and trying to pass through. So you have a wet mass of rubbish like jello just waiting to collapse. I mean, it is as rudimentary and elementary in engineering as you can imagine. You don't have to be an engineer to understand that you have to let the water out. Otherwise, you won't have a road, because in the first instance, you built the road on the wrong type of material.
Cummings further expressed concern for the airstrip at the Argyle International Airport, which he says could cause problems for jumbo jets landing at the air facility.
So it constantly washes under the road. It saturates the silly material that is not suited in the first place for the base of a road. So this road has been collapsing, as happened a couple of years ago. From that, you have an airport built with a similar kind of material that has problems, proven problems with lack of compaction. And I keep saying, and has the same problem with water, because the river passing under the airport is not always free to pass. So you're going to saturate that material with water. And again, when you put the load possibly of jumbo jets on that, God knows there's a calamity waiting to happen.
And Minister of Transport and Works Julian Francis is appealing to motorists to refrain from parking alongside the roads, which will be used as alternate routes for traffic diverted from the Argyle Main Road. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Francis reminded persons that the main Argyle Road has weakened and has become unsuitable for vehicular traffic as of yesterday. Francis said diversion roads going into Calder, Peruvian Vale and Yambu, among others, will need to be clear so that traffic can flow smoothly.
Progressing, but I want to appeal to road users, particularly those in the Calder, Mespo area, vehicles being parked along the side of the road. It's creating a problem with passage of double-lane traffic, and I'm asking persons to be considerate in parking their vehicles so that we will have an easier passage for vehicles. And remember, all sizes of vehicles come through there. Big trucks and little vehicles. So those who have vehicles to be park on the side of the road. Please take them away from and give us sufficient space to pass so it'll make the traffic a little bit easier.
And the general public is being reminded that they must remain cautious as the cleaning and clearing of roads, rivers and drains continue. The appeal came from Braggs's communications officer Roxanne Millington as she provided an update of Braggs's cleanup efforts thus far. Highlighting the work being done on major impacted areas, Millington said Braggs continues to work diligently as there is still a great deal of work to be done.
flooding in Kingstown yesterday, mainly North and South River Road. We sent in the heavy equipment and we had our guys working there up till 11 o'clock last night, trying to clear all the silt and all the debris from the road. We were able to clear most of the landslides on the main highway. We had landslides in Sanssouci and Bellevue. We also cleared some landslides in Park Hill and McCracken. We still have some landslides to clear in North Leeward, along the main road in Rosebank, Pittibodel, Chateaubelair. We're asking persons as usual to be cautious on the roads because we have a lot of heavy equipment on the roads trying to move all these landslides. There was some flooding in the Calico area, but that area was cleared by the village council.
Under the theme, Need Has No Season, the annual Salvation Army Kettle Appeal was formally launched earlier today at the Kingstown Post Office, with the general public being urged to give and give generously. The event saw various performances from persons benefiting from the Salvation Army services, as well as persons giving their donations. Guest speaker at the event, Monty Mall, in his speech recognized the tremendous contribution of the Salvation Army and acknowledged its efforts and persistence in assisting the poor and needy in St. Vincent and the Grenadines over the years. He further declared the appeal formally launched and made his own personal contribution. The Salvation Army Kettle will be located around Kingstown, where persons can make their donations up until Christmas Eve. Grievance officer with the Public Service Union, the PSU, Joel Poyer, is calling on those in authority to exercise fair prudence and communication when addressing workers' issues. Poyer, who was speaking on last night's PSU Speaks radio program, said that best practices must be used to ensure that workers feel that their issues are not being slighted. Poyer is of the view that if persons do not have their grievances addressed, they would find other means to get a resolution, which would eventually lead to an unstable work environment.
Best practice would prevail, but it seems like, okay, when workers try to ensure that their health and their rights as workers, it seems persons in authority don't like to be challenged, so they use their authoritarian powers, because that's how I have to put it, to dish out what I call as punishment. And in doing such, all I see is happening is that you're weakening the institution, because workers now would be working in fear, and when they have problem, they may find some other ways and means to address it, because you may see there is no redress based on what has transpired so far.
Additionally, President of the PSU, Elroy Boucher, said that he is pleased by the government's intention to pass the Occupational Safety and Health Bill.
Looked at it, it is a good bill. And all unions, all workers, I'm sure are anticipating the day when that bill becomes law. We have applauded our government on taking the steps to bring occupational safety and health bill. And what has happened here really flies in the face of the government's attempt to do this. It flies in the face. It's an insult to the progress that we see that are being made by the government. Because I read some time back, some of the tenets of the draft bill. And if the bill were enacted previous to this incident, the director of the college board would be in violation, severe violation of the very bill.
The inclement weather may have stopped the Teachers Union March and Rally, which was to be held today, but President Oswald Robinson said the camaraderie of the union cannot be easily washed away. In a telephone interview with SVG Television News, Robinson voiced his regret that the planned week of activities to commemorate Teachers Solidarity Week was hindered by the weather, but said teachers are still reflecting on the struggle and sacrifices which were made 41 years ago.
And the march was stopped by the Milton Keyto government Many teachers were imprisoned. As a matter of fact, there were 10 teachers who were imprisoned, arrested, put in jail. Many teachers were transferred. Some lost their jobs. Out of that struggle emerged the need for the Teachers Cooperative Credit Union that came about from that struggle, because teachers were in need of finances. The teachers were able to sign a collective agreement. The Coates Agreement at the time was one of the achievements that came as a result of the struggle. The Coates Agreement was where, in a situation where once you're a female teacher and you became pregnant, you had to give up a job. But then that was changed. And today we now enjoy 3 months full pay maternity leave.
Robinson, however, noted that they will go ahead with the scheduled C.W. Prescott lecture at French's house this Monday, November 14th from 7 p.m., but announced that the karaoke night, which was to be held tomorrow, Saturday 12th, has been cancelled.
Weather conditions would have interrupted. We have postponed or cancelled our march and rally, which many forces were looking forward to. And the weather conditions were not in our favor. We were also planning to have a karaoke tomorrow night, but because of the unstable weather conditions, we have to put that off also. However, on Monday, we're expecting to have our C.W. Prescott Memorial Lecture, which will be at 7 p.m. at the French's house. So we look forward to that event. And the reason why we call it C.W. Prescott is that Christopher Wilberforce Prescott, he was an outstanding pioneer in the field of education and one of the outstanding educators in our country.
The SVGTU president also took the opportunity to express condolences to the families of the 2 youngsters, Jaquan May and Philip Compton, who died tragically during the passage of the trough system earlier this week.
In solidarity with those 2 students who would have lost their lives as a result of the passage of the trough system, which has impacted on our island, the Teachers Union, expressed deep condolences to the family and the friends of the bereaved, and especially those students, the Beckwith Community High School, where one of the students attends, and also the Loman Lewis Anglican School. We do empathize, we sympathize with the principal, the staff, the teachers, and the rest of the community who are now in a state of mourning as a result of the tragic death of these 2 outstanding students from our Vincentian Society. I want to wish everybody all the best. I want to ask that we exercise great caution because the soil is still saturated, and those who are traveling to be extremely careful.
The Caribbean Agricultural Research and Development Institute, CARDI, will be hosting a regional training workshop for the Eastern Caribbean states, the ECS, on small ruminant meat fabrication, value-added products and marketing here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines next week. The 2-day training workshop, which will commence on Monday, November 14th, is a key activity under the Agriculture Policy Program, the APP, which is a program supported by the European Union under the 10th European Development Fund, the EDF. During the expert-led workshop sessions, butchers, meat processors and farmers from Eastern Caribbean states, including women and youth, will be equipped with the important knowledge, techniques, and practical skills required to properly process sheep and goats before they go to the public market. They will receive an overview of meat science and discuss the importance of proper slaughtering and handling procedures, including the generic and specific meat handling principles supported by the Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, the HACCP. The HACCP system is a process control system that identifies where hazards might occur in the food production process and then puts actions in place to prevent those hazards from occurring. A master butcher will carry out practical sessions with attendees that address safe and efficient butchering, the preparation of different cuts, and the creation of end products such as ham, black pudding, and burgers. Attractive labeling and labeling requirements, as well as suitable and safe packaging methods and effective marketing will also be discussed. The overall goals of the workshop are to teach producers and processors how to carry out safe food handling practices and how to get more income per animal by creating specialty cuts and value-added products.